Hey everyone, it's Pete from Keep It Sharp. We're going to do another video. It's the second one today. This one is going to be on doing wide A5 style blades and featuring the Treyco 3000. Now, we just did some of the Stewart wide blades. Right here. These are the holders for them. So what I thought was, let's switch back. Well, let's switch this to get set up for the A5 wide blades. So essentially what we're going to do is you got to take off these two heads and put your A5 ones back on. So I just loosen both of these holders here. Slide it off, set it in the middle, take off your head. I'm calling it a head holder. It's for holding it. Now I'm going to set that down. I have a spot underneath, which is just for these blades. And they have two little screws in there and two Allen wrenches that work with these heads. I keep all that together. That's just my little thing. You can do it any damn way you want, right? See, remember your little felt washer, your holder, take it off, done. These two and this go underneath in a special box. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, what I did too is with magnets, I put this one on here for holding one thing. This one with a I had those little magnets for my Allen wrenches. So here are my things. Once again, the comb goes on the side towards you, the front of the machine. Set. Trying not to make this too big a deal because once you do this once, you know, you're a master. So tight. See, there's your comb. Here's your cutter. I'm not showing each one, am I? But you put the cutter over here, put it so it says cutter. Where it says cutter is facing this way, but of course this thing does spin. Put your holder back on, your felt washer, your, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble, you know, there's a name for that. There really is. And my 60-something-year-old brain just can't bring it up right now. So there you go, your heads are on. Now the plate is on flat for those other blades, but on A5 we're hollow ground. So what do? We switch it. Same as before. Don't let anything scare you. This machine is great. We're going to set that down in there. We're just literally going to flip it. There's no fancy charging you got to do and all that. Sorry, ooh, that swings too. So line up your holes, put it in there, screw it in. I don't know if you can see, my plate is still charged from the last time. So, there we go. You don't have to put that screw in real tight. We're now on the hollow ground side. It's been a few days since I used it. So what I typically do is either give it a little spin like this, give it some 1, 2, 3 seconds of oil that puts out a fine mist of oil. And it's the special oil made by Treyco. I don't know if they make it, but they have it. And they feel it is fantastic. It's not like lard and all that. So I'm putting a pretty thick coat of grit on there. Oh, I don't know if you're seeing this. I'm sorry. Put a pretty thick coat. We do the old charging stick, run it around there. I see some wet spots that don't have powder, so I don't know if I just put too much oil or not enough powder. So I'm gonna do it a second time. You know, once again, better to use extra powder. This stuff is pennies compared to a $400 plate. Okay, so don't be shy, don't be worried. Okay, there we go. And then remember, when we first charge it, you use a comb, let it run across 3 or 4 times. That's what I use that for. I keep an old comb that I don't use in here. Slap that puppy on. Turn your plate on. Whoops. Lower this down. Let it do just four times. 1, 2, 3. We're already here at 4. I pull it off. The other thing I didn't mention, we're gonna let that spin down. We do have a break. The other thing I didn't mention was I did not change the below the arm here, the little rotor thing that goes around and moves your blades back and forth. It has a large blade mode and a short. The regular A5, which is actually a longer stroke. It's in here. It's still on the short stroke mode, okay? Especially because the comb is so wide on this, okay? So take that test one off, throw it back in there. So now we're ready to do our blades. There's your big ass comb. I always pop these 2 out, line up those 2 holes, see? Set it back against there, see it rocks if need be. But that's it, it's held right. The amount of pressure going down is right. All the headaches are gone while using the Treyco 3000. And that's why I use it. And actually, the cutter is a little wider too. And that's the biggest problem. If you're on the wide stroke, it has hit my brake here for the disc. So that's when I figured out, even with these wide A5s, you have to use once again, yes. Oh God, if you guys can see this. The 2 I call look like flathead screwdrivers. They go in your groove. This gap in here is where that nut, the hex head nut, is sticking out. The teeth are pointing up in that groove. See, it should wiggle like that if you're on correctly. Swing it around, have it ready to set down, keep those flat. That's all there is. We're back to the same 2 minutes. If you want, remember, you can put your blade on this thing and check to see how many thousandths you take off. 2 minutes, you take off 2 thousandths. I'm getting real comfortable with this, so I don't always check it. If anything is off or seems weird, what I'll do is put it back on there, set it, zero it, and I'll re-sharpen the blade and make sure I'm getting 2 thousandths off. So there we go. On, arms, remember, set down in the middle of a stroke. Start your timer, we're ready, okay? I'm gonna shut it off so you don't have to see the whole 2 minutes. Okay, it's still going, 1.5 minutes left, but what I thought was, I wasn't letting you see how this worked. So with the short stroke, see? It's still coming over to the edge, but it's not, if it's on the long stroke, that edge is gonna come out and hit your brake on that side. Here, you'd have some forgiveness over here, but over there you don't. And that could cause a problem with your sharpening. So, there we go, and with this you can see, there's not a lot of sparks with this machine, so I'm sorry, Sparky. And you guys that see the sparks on the red machines, I'm sorry we don't have that, but like I say, get you like a sparkler or something. You can put it in the corner here if you want to see sparks. This is running at a lower speed. You don't get as many sparks. Not a big deal. Trust me. It's actually a better thing, okay? 36 seconds, hold on. Okay, we're back on, down to 10 seconds, obviously left now. I want you to go through the whole thing just so you see it's not, whatever. There we go, I hear my alarm. So, pull your arms off about halfway through your stroke. There you go, turn that off, turn your plate off, reset your timer. You're done, okay? Now, just like Treyco shows in its training films, see, if that powder's sticking on decent, see how it's all, yeah. If it gets too dry, it won't build up like that and stick like that. You'll have very little in there, and that tells you you need to get some more oil on your plate and put some more grit on that. It's like recharge time. The nice thing with this is you don't have to clean the wheel all the way off to recharge. You just let her stop here. Actually, I let it go a little bit. Give it like a 3-second burst to get the whole plate with a nice light coating of oil. Put your grit on, spin it around, and you're good. So we're good with our grit. I knock it off into the rinse bucket. Same thing here. Look, I want to show real time. See how it builds up? The dust from the grit actually is coming off the ends of the blades. I got a nice coat there. That's telling me everything's good. You can see how it's sharpened real good, I hope. And I give it a little knock here. I just try to keep all the grit in here if possible. Put it in my rinse. This video isn't going to be, here we go, as intense or as long as my last one. But I will come around here. There's my first bucket. See, so I use the brush. I brush off the grit. Then I re-dip it. Then essentially your second rinse is nothing but a very clean rinse to give you that last rinse to be sure you got all the grit off. I set it down here on the a towel. I pat it dry. Then I use compressed air and I get that completely dry, okay? So at this point, this is the same as an A5 style. You got your spring, you put it back together, oil it, check your spring tension, and if everything's good, you line up your teeth and all that, get your set back properly, test your springs tension, and then if it's good, we test on rabbit fur. I do have faux fur too, but with something like with the A5 styles, I may do a little quick test with the string, and if that's cutting good, I go straight to the rabbit fur. If it cuts through that like butter, we're done. We're done. Package them up, ready to go back to the customer. This is just a spare I have, but I'm getting a bunch of spares ready to give spares to my customers while I'm sharpening theirs if they want them. I just thought it'd be a nice little look at the dust on me. But it's a little add-on service because right now I don't have a sharpening truck. Anything clipper blade has to come back to the shop, which is my 2-car garage, and get done. So I'm trying to come up with better ways to compete with the guys who have the truck that can do it right on site, because some people want it done there because they need it right back. So the thought was, hey, if I can give you a loaner, we've kind of taken care of that. So that's it. Put it back together, test it. But that's large or wide A5 style clipper blades and how you do them on the Treyco 3000. Back to one last little thing. If you can see, right here is where we do the long and the short stroke, and there's a second hole in that gives you the wider stroke, and that's what I'll be doing next, or just in a moment, to put it back so it's ready for A5s. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do a shit ton of A5 style compared to my the large blade, even the large A5 style. So not a big deal to reset it back up, and it's ready for the next set. So can't say how much I love my machine, but I truly do love the Treyco 3000. I say, guys, it's worth the extra expense because I keep saying, now I know I'm not 10 years into this yet, okay? This is my second time being a sharpener for the commercial market, whatever we want to call it. I used to sharpen for hospitals, did that for 10 years. But so I'm back to this. So I tell people I got over 10 years experience, but doing this, I'm back in it semi-new. I had a Treyco, a 2010, 12 years ago. So there's where, when I got back in investigating, it just led me back to this machine. So there we go. Have a great